Greetings from World Tourism Forum Bodrum Summit, ladies and gentlemen. Tourism is a major economic activity in the European Union with wide-ranging impact on economic growth, employment, and social development. It can be a powerful tool in fighting economic decline and unemployment. Nevertheless, the tourism sector faces a series of challenges. The European Commission works to address these with policies and actions. The outbreak of COVID-19 has put the EU tourism industry under unprecedented pressure, and tourism companies of all sizes are facing acute problems. In spite of this, the outlook for 2021 is for considerable recovery, with Europe as a whole expected to be almost double the 2020 volumes, although remaining 35% beneath 2019 levels. This is good news for the rest of the world, as chances are EU may become the poster child for the pent-up demand for travel and tourism reboot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to introduce to you our valued guest for the second time around, because he did join us for our last summit from Istanbul in November 2020, and who is willing to bring in new hopes for the European travel and tourism and its impact on the tourism actors worldwide. Mr. Henrik Hololei, Director General of the European Commission's Department for Mobility and Transport, DG Move. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sumaira. Thank you for having me. Of course, I would have preferred to be in Bodrum in person, but I'm sure that there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Where else to have a conference about the tourism and the restart and the recovery than in one of the most touristic cities in Turkey. So I miss that, but nevertheless, it's good to be with you virtually.
Thank you. And we will work on that to happen again. So it's noted that Europe can set a global example by restarting the sector. Given the tourism's huge socioeconomic importance, the benefits that will accompany the return of tourism in time for the peak European season will be felt well outside of the sector itself. It is emphasized that the need for harmonized protocols and digital solutions to make safe international travel possible. And I think European Union as a whole realizes its importance and significance. So what approach should be used to track travel within the EU in response to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sumaira, for this question. And of course, we very much hope that, as you said, Europe can also lead the way of the restart and recovery. And I think that over the last months, a lot has been done in order to create also the necessary framework for that. But let's go one step back. And of course, if we look at this crisis, I mean, nobody would have thought that it would last so long. I think we had some moments where people were very optimistic, especially also last summer when the number of COVID cases went down drastically in Europe. But unfortunately, they have bounced back. And of course, now we hope that the trend is permanently downwards. Of course, this is very much supported by the concerted action and the significant acceleration of the vaccinations. It's clear that whatever kind of method of systems we will put in place, it will be in the end the vaccinations which are going to make the big difference. And of course, achieving the herd immunity is the key, and that will help, of course, to be traveling to Europe, and of course for the Europeans to travel outside. By the end of May, Europe had administered about 170 million doses to people, or 170 million people were at least once vaccinated, and the speed is going up well. So I think that gives also a good reason for the optimism. Also, this crisis has, of course, been very uneven crisis. If we look at the financial and economic crisis 10 years ago, it was far more uniformly affecting the different sectors. However, this is not the case this time, where there are certain sectors who are basically bearing all the key consequences. And the travel and tourism sector is a good example. Travel, tourism, aviation, transport, mobility, it's been all very hard hit, and it will also take some time to recover. But I would like to see this also with a degree of optimism. I think, first of all, we have now the EU, the digital COVID certificates, where the first countries have joined in actually from the 1st of June, and from the 1st of July, it is compulsory for all the EU member states. This will create definitely the possibilities to have better understanding of the different restrictions and also minimize them to the extent possible. We also have the essential non-EU travel advice, which also gives the possibility for people who are fully vaccinated when 14 days is from the last vaccination to enter the EU much easier, but also at the same time to make it possible for those who also have the antibodies, who also have the negative PCR test. And these are all helping, and these are all hopefully creating the conditions also for European industry to recover. Because what is important is also to see that people want to travel. People really have been confined, and one thing that they have been missing is, of course, entertainment. One thing they are missing is, of course, the possibility to go around. They want to hop on a plane, on a train.
Absolutely.
On a cruise ship, whatever, as long as they would be able to go out. Secondly, also, people have accumulated quite a lot of disposable income, because during the COVID time, clearly the consumption was down, and especially on entertainment. And of course, people have additional reserves, and they would like to use it for traveling as well. There is no doubt about that. I think these are the positive things. When we look also how Europe is now focusing on, then there is also no doubt that the first and foremost to be able to restore the intra-European travel and movements is the key. We need EU to be EU again. We need the people again to be able to move freely, and the restrictions to be minimized to the extent possible. Then it's also very important to restore the travel.
Yeah.
And our immediate neighbors, and these are the destinations where Europeans also are usually very keen to visit. And it is important, of course, then to work with these countries, because we also have to have the.
Yeah. So could you elaborate?
Yeah. So because then,
which regions and territories in Europe that you see will be the first to lead the way?
Look, I mean, first, just finishing what I was saying is that we have the neighboring countries, and then we have the transatlantic link, because the transatlantic travel, Americans coming to Europe, Europeans going to US, is also extremely important. For the moment, it is all basically closed down, because non-essential travel is not really happening. So when we look at Europe, I mean, it is also clear that there are countries which are very much dependent on tourism, and there are countries which are less dependent on tourism. Right. And you wouldn't be surprised to see that those countries who are more dependent on tourism are also pushing forward. And that is very good, because we also need those who are in the front, need those who would be, let's say, ready to open up faster, because that also allows the others to come along. And especially we see in the southern Europe a number of countries who have been doing whatever they can in order to open up, not only for the European travelers, but also from the travelers from the third countries who actually fulfill the criteria, and who can prove that either they are testing negative, either they are vaccinated, or they have also acquired the immunity through the antibodies. So clearly there is an interest to move ahead. And for Europe, what is important is that even if some move faster, everybody would be coming along, and we would have an interoperable and transparent and understandable system, something that we have been missing throughout the crisis, where Europe, which used to be very straightforward in terms of moving around, became a patchwork of different kinds of rules, restrictions, quarantines, which made it almost impossible to move around.
Okay. So That's really, really interesting. One thing that you mentioned here was about the certificate, the COVID certificate. Can you, for our viewers, just expand a little bit on this? Because millions of people and businesses are depending on the right decisions to be made so that tourism can restart. And this is a really, really groundbreaking initiative. And so just if you can little bit explain the format on that.
Sure, Sumaira, with pleasure. The digital COVID certificate, which, as I said, has been used already from 1st of June on a trial basis, but will be fully applicable in EU member states from the 1st of July, is a digital certificate which can also be in a paper form, and it is interoperable proof of health and of health situation, and to show that the person has been vaccinated against COVID-19, has been tested or has recovered from the COVID, has been tested negative through the PCR test, or has been recovering from the COVID-19, meaning that to have the antibodies, and can also prove that. This tool is to adequately support, of course, the lifting of the travel restrictions within the EU, and is to be used only for the duration of the pandemic. Now, the thing is, of course, that when we would be able to have this uniform approach, the idea is that once you have one of the three things, vaccination, negative test, or antibodies, then you should not be subject to quarantines and for any additional restrictions. So you don't need to test again. I mean, everything that has made traveling today very complicated. So you take away the complexity, and at least you have a very clear framework. The only thing there is that in the end, the member states can also use an emergency brake, which is that when they feel that the situation has been deteriorating, or certain member states in EU, the situation has been deteriorating, they are allowed, based on scientific evidence and also based on facts and figures, they are allowed also to temporarily restrict and to add some additional elements for the entry. But as said, it has to be based on facts, it has to be based on reality, it has to be based also on the scientific proof. And of course, from the entry into force of the digital COVID certificate regulation, the member states will be able to issue secured and protected QR code containing minimalistic medical data set laid down in the regulation. So also the protection of personal data is very important. That also took time in order to work it out. This is very dear to the Europeans' heart. And of course, the main idea is then to having the seamlessly integrated passenger journey within EU, and that would help to make things easier. I mean, just not long ago, like a week or two ago, we observed that if you want to travel with children, you have 15 different regimes. And of course, this is untenable. So that's why the digital COVID certificate would be helpful. Of course, then the big thing is how to expand it. And that would mean also working with the third countries, because this is first and foremost for the EU citizens, for the EU internal EU travel. But there you have the possibility for an adequacy decision, which means that the systems laid down in a third country, say, for example, United States, that these protocols are equivalent to the level of safety and personal data security that Europe is demanding. And we can then, through the adequacy decision, also approve it, which means that they would be eligible also in Europe. And of course, we expect this to happen vice versa. So the whole idea is also that that we can move on and make a difference. Transport, including air transport, will be, of course, an important such a use case, which should be able to work seamlessly with other solutions that are currently being developed also outside Europe, because aviation is so global. And this is particularly important, of course, where you have the strong international focus. That's why we also work in ICAO, we work with the WHO, and we also work with the industry, with IATA. So the main thing is that let's get all our brains, let's get all our innovation together, and let's try to make together a difference.
Amazing. And that's where the European governance comes in. right? The systems, they speak for themselves. And this is what I think it's also a testament that the system has been built to last, and to be able to deal with these crises. And it's a real testament to that, because you have a lot of countries and regions which are still struggling to get their head round what the best initiatives can be. I know that you are a very busy man, and this has been a very compelling talk. I don't want to take any more of your time, and I really appreciate that you've come and joined us again. And hopefully, this is a message of hope that can resonate with everybody. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sumaira. And if I just may add a few more sentences, I just want to say that what is key in all this is also to get back the trust and confidence of traveling. Because even people, they want to travel, but they also want to travel safely. We know how much the travel, tourism, aviation, transport industry is doing to make traveling as safe as possible. It is very important that people realize it. It's very important also to remind them, and it's very important to show how much is done in order to keep people healthy, keep them safe. And of course, this can and should be achieved in terms of cooperation between the different players, between travel, tourism, transport industries, but also between the different countries and different regions. It's a global challenge where we have global solutions. And I'm also very grateful to have this opportunity to talk to you, because I know that how much the World Tourist Forum is also doing in order to move ahead on the global Thank you, Sumaira, for having me.
Thank you so much, and hopefully we meet again in person soon. Third time round, we are going to do it face to face. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.